Boo, 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 doo, 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 doo.
Welcome to this hour. Does anyone know what time it is?
It's Misha o'clock.
What was that?
9:10.
Welcome to 9:10 p.m. On the show. That, to be absolutely honest with you, I'm not quite sure what it consists of or what the general direction encompasses. So I'd like to ask my dear friend Misha, as I actually often do, take a set aside, what is going on right now? Like what's happening? What is this?
Yeah. So this is what's called an existential crisis, and people.
Can I interrupt? Is it mine or yours?
It's not mine. It's not yours. It's ours. Communism.
That feels a little. Okay, so that feels like you're projecting a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I do for a living. Project onto others. As you would project onto yourself.
I do have some questions for you. The other ones I have this person
for
at
yourself?
No, there's an essay. There's an essay down the street. There's a gas attendant there but for you, one thing that I think would be really interesting for you to, do we need to work on your ADHD? I'm going to take this.
No, I feel like I have it perfectly.
This is serious. So one thing I think would be interesting to talk about, I want to talk about bananas, but I think just kind of as a precursor, what would you say to the youth when you decide to grow up and stop acting like a child yourself?
I would say do anything but what I'm doing.
Okay. And then let's get to the bananas now. So what is your relationship with bananas?
Widowed.
Well, let's be, we're live, so I think this is a good time to be vulnerable. There's a relationship you do have with bananas, and I just kind of want to know the context and the origin of what your relationship is with bananas and how you actually think it factors into climate change.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm in an open relationship with bananas.
Okay.
And so I'm seeing other fruits.
Of your labor? Okay. Fruits of your loom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we take that in context, how do we apply it to climate change? And also, how do we lower gas prices at the same time?
Yeah, I think you lower gas prices by raising the prices of cars, because if nobody can buy a car, then nobody's going to want to buy gas.
And then this ties into climate change how?
Because before you can change climate, it has to want to change itself.
Okay. If there's anything you feel like I should do with my life, what would it be right now?
Less.
Okay. How do you feel about artificial fullerenes?
I feel like
Okay. Sorry, I'm just imagining myself drinking a lot of alcohol right now, so I can, okay. Your mom adopted me, right?
yeah, in a way.
Do you think it's something she's going to ever feel like she has a responsibility to engage in more in the future?
I feel like it's something she might feel like she has an irresponsibility to engage in.
What do you think her sentiments are towards you in general? You know, we know she gets concerned because you don't wear coats during the winter, but what do you think she would say if she was here right now?
She'd be concerned that I'm not wearing enough clothes.
Okay. Actually, so I feel like this is kind of all about you. I'd actually really like it if you asked me a question.
Yeah. So what was the next question you were going to ask?
Yeah, that's not what I mean. I want you to ask me something that I enjoy talking about, and just ask me something that I want to answer.
Yeah, absolutely. Why do you think that my mom loves and accepts you so much as if you were almost her daughter? And do you think it has anything to do with
I think it was when we went to your
being
babushka's funeral and you went outside and you weren't going to wear your coat, and I insisted, and that was the moment that tears came to her eyes and she accepted me. So there's that. Can you just ask me like one more question?
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm sorry, no, never mind. I need to ask you a question. When do you take things seriously that you're not taking seriously?
When I'm not being taken serious.
So what's happening right now in this moment? I understand that there's cameras around us and I got invited here. I was in the middle of drinking a good cup of coffee, and
My condolences
thank you.
to that cup of coffee.
I have compassion toward your condolences, but what's the theme of what we're trying to do if there's any people out there past this lovely audience taking this in and trying to metabolize
Misha.
the content of Misha, yes. I'm sorry, the laughing in iambic pentameter is not an answer. I'm serious.
Okay. That's fair.
If I hurt your feelings, we can have a safe word, banana. But I want to know what you feel like in this moment we need to kind of offer.
Oh, right, yeah. Offer the audience a sacrifice. Wait, no. I think words of wisdom that they can take and have for the rest of their lifetime.
What? Sorry.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to
No,
that.
it's
You
just-
weren't paying attention, so I was
Oh,
convinced that you were paying
Trust me, I
attention.
never pay attention to what I'm saying or paying attention to.
So yeah, so as I was saying to a parent, what is a mere reflection of myself, I think the audience needs something that it can change their life for the whole thing, their
Do
entire
you think
life.
that there's
for their whole
anything
life.
that has transpired tonight that actually would change? I personally feel like I'm on massive amounts of LSD right now. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
almost
yeah.
a psychotropic effect to this entire thing right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, no, you go ahead.
So maybe what can we give them through the lens of Misha, through the lens of, the premise of the show of meeting Misha and in a way that changes others? Like what's a Misha mission, maybe?
Now we're having an existential crisis.
It takes two to have an existential crisis.
Do you know that sometimes when you are being provocatively ubiquitous, that you are being passive aggressive to people deep down inside?
Yes.
Okay. How do you feel about the fact that my socks never match?
I think it's healthy to be indecisive.
Okay. Let's go to some world stage events. There's a lot, obviously, we know going on in the world. not to get too heavy, but the Dollar Tree.
Yeah, I feel like it's overpriced.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Thank you. Yeah.
Like if they should lower their prices.
100%. Yeah. So exactly. So when we're looking at world events transpiring right now, one thing that we need to, address and come together on is the pricing at the dollar store. Not to mention, what about the places that imply they are a dollar store, but you go in and you've been fooled? How does that alienate you from trust and the government and your parents and your basic proclivity to understand the human language when you walk into a dollar store and something's more than $1? Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like what else is not true?
Yeah, exactly.
Am I adopted?
What?
What?
Yeah, you are.
I guess I'm adopted by everyone who meets me. So.
Yeah. What would you say one highlight would be that I should get in my hair?
One highlight is the yellow that they use to highlight textbooks with.
Okay.
And like a mermaid glitter.
Do you think that by promoting mermaids in our culture, we are possibly exploiting the minds of lemurs?
I feel like they're exploiting their own minds.
Yeah.
They're self-exploitative by nature and nurture.
So what are your sentiments on unicorns?
I think that they stop believing that they are real, and that's why we can't see them.
So this brings it full loop into this whole existential crisis of what is even happening right now between us and around us and within us. So at a cosmological level, if we were to take all of this content and raise its vibration, because really this show is also ultimately about chakras and stretching, sure. How do we take all of this, psychosis and raise it into a spiritual place that I think, most people would like to learn how to access in order to benefit their higher selves or self? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I think sometimes when we raise something into our spiritual self, we can also be lowering it into our aspiritual self as well. And so there's
that's a new concept to bring into focus. Can anyone hashtag that? What was that? This a-self. A-self. What do you mean when you say
aspiritual?
So like atypical a-self. So can you further iterate? I really enjoy this concept.
It's purgatorizing the ego and id.
Purgatorizing?
Yeah.
Did you just make that word up?
No. I've made it up in the past too.
Okay, we could say pejoratively, or purple, people eater,
Yeah. I don't know if you need the highlight because you have such a bold ass personality. I don't know if you really need like the clothes or the shimmer.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel a lot better being on a stage when you are making me feel good about myself. So, just wanna kind of bask in that for a second.
Yeah, you're a kid whisperer.
Would it be wrong for me to tell you I'm bored and startled at the same time?
Yeah. And I think that's what that's why the kids love you so much.
Which ones?
Is you embody both things that they experience constantly and never.
So let's actually go back to kids, because I asked a question and what you said didn't make a lot of sense. What are some things that we could do? They tell kids to believe in anything, to like have dreams. But pretty soon on, it's like the jig's up, stop it, go, work at Barnes and Noble, and, they basically, what's something that you think would be important? Or what about the inner children of people who grew up and they act like children, like my ex-boyfriends, all of them. Sorry, I've lost, but people who act childish, what do we say to those people without swearing?
We say gaba gaba gula laba, and
Can we switch spots?
yeah, I was getting really, really comfortable.
Okay. When you're ready to take this seriously, I will. I have no. What were we talking about? Is this live?
Yes. Definitely not that.
Yeah.
You're alive too.
Yeah.
This is not in your head.
Okay.
This is happening in real life.
We all in the mind.
So. Good. If you haven't noticed, I don't smile. It's better than Botox. So I guess I just want to thank you for always pushing the envelope and creating extremely uncomfortable situations for me to be in that I have to disassociate from in order to be engaged. And this was very powerful. And I benefited from it mildly. So I just want to thank you for having yourself on the show so I could try to figure out what we're all doing here tonight.
And cut.